Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Carly's Book Gems, and today I have a very exciting video for you guys. We are finally doing a tier book rating. I always watch these videos every single time my favorite booktubers post them. I just think it's so fun. I love seeing where books lie in the tier ranking system, and we're gonna do that for all of the books that I've read so far this year in 2026. We are at close to the end of July now, so almost quite past that mid-year point, but that's okay. We're still good. I feel like this is still the mid-year. I've got my books, I've got my tier ranking system. We're gonna get right to it, okay? And I really wanted to go through really quick. So far, I've read 25 books, so I feel like that's pretty good. I mean, it's definitely not even close to a lot of other people, but hey, you guys, I have a job, so I have to work. And I'm sorry, but I have to do that. Before, whenever I really wasn't reading that much, it was hardly anything. So 25 books in the middle of the year, I'm pretty proud of that. I think I'm getting better at making reading a habit and finding little small moments in the day to just fit a few pages in and get through books faster that way. And I know before everyone says, oh my gosh, you're not supposed to rush things. And I'm not trying to rush things, but I'm also I have a lot of books that I want to read. I want to get off my phone. So I'm replacing getting on my phone with reading books. Trying to. It's very hard. So there's that. So really quick, I wanted to do some stats. So I'm on Fable. If you aren't on Fable and you aren't following me yet, go on Fable and follow me. I'm there. Carly Lynn is my name on Fable. So go follow me on there so you can see what I'm reading all the time. I have read so far 10 fantasy books, 9 thrillers, 7 literary fiction, 6 horror books, and 6 romance, which I was shocked by that. And then I remembered that I read a lot of graphic novels that had romance elements, and I was just really in a cozy mood during the wintertime. I was expecting to have read more horror books, but now that I'm thinking about it, a lot of the horror books that I read were thrillers, and I read 10 fantasy. I'm honestly kind of shocked. I feel like I have not read a lot of fantasy this year. I guess I did, and my brain just didn't remember. But maybe it's just the books that I was reading didn't feel like high fantasy. I think of high fantasy whenever I think about fantasy. I don't know. The average rating that I have had so far this year is 4. I feel like that's pretty good. That's pretty good. We're not reading bad books. That's pretty cool to see. So anyways, let me get started here. So I created this and I wanted it to be obviously gem themed because duh. So for the S tier is Diamond. Diamond means I love it, read it right now or else, okay? Basically foaming at the mouth. I need people to read it because I really want to talk about it. That's what Diamond is. Sapphire is loved it and I would recommend this to a friend. So it's not quite at the very top, but I loved it and I'm going to be recommending this whenever I think it would be a good fit for people. Ruby, I enjoyed it, but maybe there's just a few things about it that I'm just I don't know, I'm being a little bit nitpicky here and there, but otherwise I enjoyed it and glad that I read it, okay? So that's Ruby. Topaz means it's just not for me and it was forgettable. So I kind of forgot that I read it, or I just read it and I was like, this just isn't, I'm not the target audience. So, and that's okay. And that's okay. And then I have no idea if any book that I've read will fall under this category, considering my average rating so far this year is a 4, but I have, the last one is Cole, okay? And it is What Did I Just Read? Oh, and I'm realizing that I didn't put I in there. What did just read? What did just read? That's what happens when I try to rush this stuff, okay? I have no idea. I don't think anything would actually fall under that one, but we don't know. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Let's make some people mad today. You know, I woke up and I chose violence. I chose chaos, drama, and violence. That's what we're doing today. Going first is 5 by Ilona Bannister. I really, really liked this book. I'm thinking that I'm gonna put this as a Sapphire because I loved it and I would recommend it to a friend. It doesn't really fall into you need to read this right now, but I did really love it and I would recommend this to a friend. I thought this book was great. Basically, we have 5 characters in this story and they're all at a train station. The first page, you find out that one of them dies, but we don't know who. So the author doesn't tell you who's gonna die. But what she does tell you is a little bit about each of these characters and how they ended up where they are right now. And it is truly one of the most eye-opening books I've read as far as a character study, as far as humans being so utterly complicated. I love that. I love when authors can show you the raw, horrible parts of being human and then the really awesome parts of being a human, and how we're just very complicated and nobody is perfect, no matter what you think about yourself. I'm sorry to break it to you, but you are not perfect, and that's okay. And there's going to be a lot of people in this world that you meet that there's more to who they are than what they seem. So that's what that book was about. And I know that that's really deep for a book being like, oh, well, 5 people at a train station, one's gonna die. It turned into much more than that, okay? Like, it really wasn't just like some mystery. So I really liked it. We gotta keep going. Another one that I've read recently. Okay. This is actually the book that I just finished, and this is called Angel Down by Daniel Kraus. I actually have read 2 books by Daniel Kraus this year. I had no idea who Daniel Kraus was. Like, if you would have asked me that 2 months ago, I would have said who. But somehow here I am reading 2 books by him within like a month. I don't know how we got here, but we did. I'm gonna go ahead and say enjoyed it, but because I struggled trying to understand what was going on half the time. I can be down with that to an extent, but he is just like, his writing is good, but it was almost like too intense of prose for me in this specific book, which is crazy because like I said, I read another book by him this year and it was not like that at all. So I think he really did his big one with this. Again, this is a Pulitzer Prize winner, so that really makes sense. This book is basically about 5 soldiers in World War II. Their mission is they were assigned to go get whatever's making the racket in the middle of no man's land and take care of it. And they end up stumbling upon a fallen angel that they have to go save. It's in the middle of no man's land. From there is like a whole chaos series of events. It was really, really good. I really want to say it was really, really good. I think at the end, it kind of made up for like me being so confused the whole entire time and my brain hurt. It is really short. It has that on its side. The literary device of him making the whole book is like one big run-on sentence, and I get why he did that. It kind of tells you in the beginning why he does that. I like books that can challenge me, but this was almost like to the point where I wasn't having fun anymore, and that's not good. So that's why it's gonna be a Ruby. Enjoyed it, but Next. Okay. Wow, I like this one. When the Wolf Comes Home. And obviously anybody who knows me on here knows that I'd never shut up about this book. I was constantly recommending it to a friend. Is it gonna go in Sapphire or is it gonna go in Diamond? I don't know. I'm gonna go with Diamond. Yeah, I'm gonna go Diamond, read it now, because why not? You know, I'm gonna put it there because I really did really liked that book. I think that as someone who wants to write a book someday, seeing how different writers just tap into their childlike imagination when it comes to writing stories, this felt like Nat Cassidy was really tapping into who he was as a kid with an imagination and saying, I can do whatever I want and I'm going to. And then he goes with it with this story. A girl who is struggling with the grief of her father, she ends up finding a little boy who she doesn't know what's going on here. And she finds him. And then after she finds him, all of a sudden this monster is chasing them both, and it is absolutely chaotic, and they're just causing death and destruction in their path, no matter where they go, and you soon find out why. And I feel like that, I don't want to give it away, because going into this story, I had no idea where it was going, and whenever I found out what was happening and what was going on, I was like, and it made it so much better for me as a reader. So I'll let you figure that out. It can get very violent at times. So I wanna put that out there in case you were like, I can't do violence. That one is very violent. So is Angel Down. Just saying. If you guys wanna pick either of those up, those are extremely violent, but I promise you When the Wolf Comes Home, so good. And at the end, you just feel for them and you will be heartbroken. There's that, sorry. I mean, if you know me, you know all the books that I'm gonna put in Diamond, you're gonna be heartbroken. Anyways, okay, we gotta keep going. Nora Goes Off Script. I'm gonna go with Ruby. I did enjoy this one, actually. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to, but it was kind of as far as my only thing was I don't really understand why Girl trusted the man in this book so much right off the bat when she didn't even know who he was. And it was, I get that he's famous, but why are we giving famous people a pass to basically be a squatter And that's kind of what happened in this book. But I really enjoyed it though. I think that it was a realistic view on like being a single mom and love and how everything's not perfect and it doesn't need to be perfect. And so I enjoyed it. I have not read a romance book in a while, and that was one that I read. Next, The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry. Okay, this one I'm gonna go with loved it, recommend to a friend, because I did recommend it to a friend. I loved this book. I didn't know what to expect because I heard a lot of mixed reviews on Gabrielle Zevin. She wrote Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, but I ended up really loving that book. I would definitely recommend that to a friend. If you were a book lover and a book nerd, you would love this book because the guy owns a bookstore and you just get to hear him go on all of these rants about books all of the time and authors and stories and plot. If you love that stuff, you would love this book, and then you get a little bit of romance, and then you get a little bit of something that I'm not going to tell you because I think that it's worth finding out reading for, because it was just an unexpected thing that I didn't know that I was signing up for. I was like, this is so precious and cute, and I loved this. Yeah, I would definitely recommend that book. I'm gonna make so many people mad. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid. Listen, I was enjoying this book and I was like, I want to know what happens here because this is interesting. So I don't think that the writing in this book is bad. I don't think that the author is a bad author by any means. I just think that the ending was so not at all what I enjoy. And I'm not going to tell you what it is because that would pretty much give it away. But I hate these kinds of endings. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in, Cole, what did I just read? And I'm sorry, I thought that I wasn't going to have any books in this. It technically could be not for me, forgettable, but at the same time though, like, what did I just read? That's how I felt. So yeah, we're just gonna leave it at that. We're gonna leave it at that, okay? Sheets. This was a graphic novel. Again, in like February, I got the Kobo Libra color. I got that because I really wanted to start reading graphic novels and manga, dip my toes in there a little bit. It was like a cost efficient way in my brain because then I could just, so I did, and I started reading a bunch of graphic novels. This one was definitely like YA or something. I think I'm gonna go enjoyed it, but it was, honestly, I'm gonna go this one, not because it's not for me, it definitely was for me, but it was just forgettable. I still enjoyed it, and it was still really cute. I don't know, maybe I do put it here. I did enjoy it. The Princess Bride, okay, The Princess Bride. I'm gonna go with, I'm in between Sapphire and Ruby right now. I'm gonna put it at enjoyed it, but because I did struggle slightly. I've never seen the movie The Princess Bride, okay? I did not know that this book that it's talking about does not exist. I spent hours trying to find it. I'm like, wait, I need to read the book by Morgenstein. Hey, it doesn't exist, and that's just a thing the author made up. So I was confused the whole time, and I'm pretty sure that I skipped a lot of like the beginnings of him telling the story of like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I skipped all that. So for that reason, I'm gonna put it enjoyed it, but because I didn't understand. Other than that, I loved these characters, like so much. Like I really loved these characters, and I guess I still would recommend it to a friend. I just didn't like love. I liked the movie a lot better. I'm gonna go with the movie is better, I think, than this one, okay? This is the case where the movie was better. A Monster Calls. I'm gonna go with, again, a Ruby, because I really did enjoy this one, but I didn't realize that it was YA, and I was like, oh, this sounds like it should be for YA, and I went into it thinking it wasn't, so I guess I shouldn't fault it for that, because that's just on me, but it didn't hit me as hard. Well, that's not true. It did hit me because I was kind of going through a similar situation at the time. I don't know, I guess it just didn't really hit me like I thought it was going to really hit me, but I do think this is a really cool book of like how to battle grief as a child, how to navigate that. So I do think on that front, it's good. We Used to Live Here. I loved this book, okay? I loved everything, well, not everything about it, but I want more books like this. And I think I really like this author, Marcus Kluwer? Yeah, I really like this author. I want to read his book, Caretaker. I know that some people kind of have like some qualms with it, but I just loved this. This was one of those books that was like truly creepy, like really creepy. I was like reading at night and I'm like, oh my God, I don't like this. Like I'm scared. And I can't wait to see what else he writes because I feel like I really like his writing. I remember comparing Nat Cassidy to him, and anyone who likes Marcus Kluwer would probably like Nat Cassidy. I feel like they write very similarly. One Piece. I started One Piece this year. I really need to get back into it. I I loved it. I would recommend this to a friend. I think it's super fun. I love pirates, and it was just so fun to read on my Kobo, so maybe that's bumped it up a little bit, but I really loved it, and I definitely want to continue it. It's just, there's a lot, so I've kind of been putting it off. Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put, you gotta read this now. Because if you've been putting this off, just read it. And I mean, I didn't give this a 5 stars, but that's okay. Like, it's still a diamond, read it now. Because this is just one of those books that I can like vividly see all of the characters. I can literally hear them. I quote them to this day. It has quotes in here that I still use. And I feel like for that, that means read it now. Because you will connect with these characters even if you have never read anything that is Western. I promise you, it's so good. Larry McMurtry does such a fantastic job of giving you a adventure in this cattle ride of taking these cattle to Montana and conflict that comes along the way. Moving on, because we gotta get going. Never Lie by Frida McFadden. I loved this one. Is it a diamond? Yeah, I was shocked. This is my favorite Frida McFadden book that I have read so far. I could not stop reading. She usually does that anyways, but this one I was like, I am staying up in the middle of the night to find out what happens because I truly need to know. And not only that, in the middle of the book when we find a reveal, I was shocketh to the core. She got me. She got me. If you read this because of this video, please let me know what you think in the comments. A couple is stranded in the middle of a snowstorm. They came to look at this house. They're waiting on the realtor because they want to buy this house. But the realtor is like, hey, not showing up. And they ended up getting stuck here at the house they went to go look at. Basically, the husband's like, well, we can't go anywhere, so we might as well just hang out here because the door's unlocked. It is a crazy journey of what happens in this house. I'm not gonna say anything else because you just need to read it because, oof, it was so good. So good. I Who Have Never Known Men. It's really hard to say. I'm gonna go enjoyed it, but It was just so monotonous and repetitive. I kind of went into this in my wrap-ups. Like, I don't want to go too much into detail, but basically, yeah, I was just like, okay, we're kind of doing the same thing over and over again. I think that the themes were really good. It was good, but it was just Jade City. Okay, this is like in between Ruby and Sapphire, but I'm gonna put it in Ruby because I really loved the characters in this, and I really love where this plot is going. However, I do think it is very info dumpy at times, and that really was, I struggled a lot to try and get through that. I need my lore to be told to me slowly and sprinkled in. You can keep me guessing, that's fine. That was my only thing with Jade City. Other than that, I really liked it. A little for as far as the pacing and like the lore. Heartstopper, I'm gonna go with enjoyed it, but because it was very YA, and I think that's fine. I also did, I'll just go ahead and grab volume 2 because I did that. I don't know why I have volume 3 on here. I don't think I finished volume 3. I think I actually thought that I did, but I did not. So I genuinely enjoyed Heartstopper. I think it was super cute book anyways, which is fine, but I just wanted to read some more graphic novels, and I know a lot of people talked about that one, and it was good. And hey, there's a show coming out. So now if I ever want to watch the show, I can say that I read the books, at least the first 2. The Poet Empress. Do we even need to talk about this? Come on now. You know it's a diamond. That book was so good. That book was so good. That was like fantasy at its core, like what I love in fantasy. It was really short, honestly, and to the point, but oh my god, did it pack a punch. Holy crap, that ending. That is one of the best endings I've ever read. I'm being so serious. I've read a lot of good endings, but that ending was just so good. The way that she wrapped that all up, there is no other way she could have ended that book. It was, dare I say, perfect. And we already talked about in the beginning that nothing is perfect, but that ending might be perfect. Okay, here comes Daniel Kraus again. Whalefall. I loved this. I would recommend this to a friend. It is a Sapphire, completely different than Angel Down. I mean, it was just different. I do see similarities in his writing between the two, but Whalefall was just good, and it was exactly what I was looking for at that time. And that probably helps too, right? Whenever you just are craving something and then you get it, and you can, what is the word? You can crunch the craving? I don't know. But I really loved this. Basically, a guy gets stuck in a whale and just has to figure out how to get out. And that was really crazy. And there's more to it than that, but you can go check out my wrap-up reviews. I talk about it there. The chapters are small and you can easily get through that. And there's a movie coming out, I think in September or October. Next, The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Guys, this is a diamond. Read it now. And it might be, again, because it was exactly what I needed at this time. I loved this book so much. It wasn't cringe. The characters were good. The romance was good. The plot was, I loved the plot here. I thought it was so different, unique. If you were looking for something that's just unique, kind of a different magic system, you know, obviously there's a lot of other cliche stuff that happens, and I'm always expecting that when I read fantasy, because hey, there's only so much you can do with I mean, there's a lot you can do with fantasy, but like, what hasn't already been done is the real question. So I still really loved that, and the best part is that her new book, the second one, is coming out in September, and I cannot wait. We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. Loved it, recommend to a friend. I thought this was gonna be a diamond for me because this type of gothic, creepy, a little bit of horror, and classic style book, I thought this would get me. I don't know, I think it was just because I was expecting something out of it that didn't happen. Like, I was expecting a huge big reveal at the end, but like, there was no big reveal. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, yeah, we kind of knew that, didn't we? And it just wasn't really like a big reveal. So I don't know if I just was expecting something that I shouldn't have, but I don't know. It was still really good. I loved these characters. I loved the vibe. The vibe was so good, and her writing is so good. I cannot wait to read Haunting of Hill House. I wonder if I will like that one more. So we're just gonna have to see. This one, A Short Stay in Hell, is a diamond. Read this book right now. I'm being so serious. Read this book right now. It's short. If you can write a book that is short and impact me and build a world within 200 pages or less, it was so impressive what Stephen Elpeck, the author, did in this book. Basically, we follow this character who ends up dying. He is, right off the bat, I'm like, oh, this is juicy. This is right up my alley, right up my alley. And then he gets picked to go to a certain sector of hell. And what he got chosen to go to in his own personal hell is a big, gigantic library where he has to try and find the book of his entire life. You soon realize that this task is way harder than we thought it was going to be. This world in this hell sector that he created was just so intriguing. Everything was so well done. I was just locked in the entire time. Look, and I think the reason I like it so much is because it reminds me of Piranesi, where with the whole time we're in this very strange place, and with the character, we're trying to figure out what the heck's going on and where we are and what things mean. And it's just one big puzzle. And I loved that. So that is a diamond. Read it now. I hope I convinced you. But if you also have any books that are like that you think I would enjoy, let me know. The House in the Cerulean Sea. Okay, I'm gonna go enjoyed it, but this one was just... It's kind of also not for me, but like it is though for me in some ways. Like the fantasy and the cute, adorable children in this book are right up my alley. But my problems with this book were that I understand where the themes come into place, okay? The themes and the message was very apparent, but I feel like we just got told this message over and over and over and over again, to the point where I was like, okay, I get it. I understand that this is the message that we're trying to get across. So much of the message was just being told by characters. I think the message was really good. Like, I really loved the plot and I loved all the characters, but it just felt like we were beating a dead horse at a certain point, which is sad because I was really looking forward to this book, but everything else I loved, but it just kind of put a damper on things for me. But so that's why it's gonna be a Ruby. Enjoyed it, but Wild Dark Shore, guys. I loved this. Yeah, I'm going diamond because I have no chill. Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. I don't know how to say it. Still have not looked that up. I love this book. It might have been what I needed at the time. Don't care. Still loved it. And if we wanted to keep going with this message, I needed it in more scenes with the children. And I feel like basically what happens is a girl washes up on shore to this island where this family is living, because this family is basically in charge of taking care of seeds that we need in case an apocalypse happens and we need to regrow everything. Okay, so it's a kind of an important job. And this island is like off the coast of like Antarctica or something like that. I don't know. Again, don't quote me on geography, guys. But basically there is so many cool animals. There's seals, there's penguins. Apparently the setting of this book was based off of a real island that the author has visited before. Explains so much because you get so much nature and information and genuinely interesting facts about the animals and the environment and the atmosphere. On top of that, you get this crazy mystery that you're like, what the heck is going on? Why is this woman here? And then when you find out why this woman washed up on shore, it's just unravels into this crazy plot, and I was so here for it. I loved it. I cannot wait to read more by her. I have been in line in Libby with her other reads for so long, so I cannot wait. And then lastly, you guys, I read another graphic novel, Pumpkinheads by, I think it was written by Rainbow Rowell. The art was done by Faith Erin Hicks. This graphic novel, I loved this so much. Like, I was shocked at how much I loved this. It was not cringe, realistic, different, and unique. These two coworkers work at this pumpkin patch. Basically, the two coworkers are trying to find the other girl who works at this pumpkin patch who the guy coworker has a crush on and has had a crush on, but this is his like last day working at the pumpkin patch and he hasn't had the courage to ask her out. And so him and his coworker are basically teaming up together to try and go find her. They cannot find her. Things do not end up in exactly how they should, and for the better. It was so good, you guys. It was so good. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Okay, so please go read that, even if you're not in the mood for fall. But if you are in the mood for fall, which fall's coming up, this might be the perfect read for you in the fall. This is my tier list. I had a lot of rubies, it looks like, but almost even on the sapphires and the diamonds, and we had one gold, and oh my god, I'm gonna make them so mad. I'm so sorry to my book friends. Please don't hate me. And anybody else who's gonna be mad at me for some of these other reviews, I'm sorry, but this was fun. I've always wanted to do the tier list ranking. I think it's such a fun concept, and it's really fun to do around this time of year whenever I've got a good chunk of books to try and put them at and see where I land. We'll probably do it at the end of this year and do a whole 2026 wrap up. That's gonna take me forever, considering this took me forever. I hope you guys like this, and let me know if my takes are horrible. I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.